Hi, welcome to my law channel. Today I'm talking to you about unlawful assembly, seditious meeting, riots, and affray. They are all universal offenses. The explanations, principles are all universal, but the status regulating them are different. In Nigeria, it is regulated and punished by the criminal and the penal code. By section 69 of the criminal code, an unlawful assembly is where three or more persons gather and causes the apprehension or the disturbance of the public peace. Now, it is a misdemeanor and punishable with 1 year imprisonment. Sedition. By sections 88 of the criminal code, where some group of persons come together to disturb the public peace by wearing masks, in possession of firearms, masquerading and disturbing with the intention to instigate strife or instigate strife among religious bodies or any other factions, or beating the drum, accompanied by beating the drum or playing music to instigate strife, they will be guilty and punishable with 6 months imprisonment. And any other person that joins in such parading will be liable to 1 month imprisonment. An unlawful assembly must cause the apprehension of danger to the society, to the public peace of a society, for it to pass the test of a reasonable man. And an unlawful assembly includes, for example, robbery, prize fighting, and any other related activity. I'm going to be moving on to the second offense, which is seditious meeting. What's a seditious meeting? A seditious meeting is a meeting held close to the House of Representative in Nigeria. And it is regulated by the Seditious Meeting Act of 1961, and it's only applicable in the Federal Capital Territory. And it provides that when the House of Representatives is having their sitting and 50 or more persons come together, then they'll be committing an offense of seditious meeting, except where the purpose of that meeting is for the business of parliament, or for charitable or scientific purpose, or for any other purpose with the consent of the president, on the conditions that he so deemed fit to make. Now, you have to know that any person who provides for the accommodation or occupies of such persons, group of persons, will be liable to not less than 6 months imprisonment and not less than 100 naira fine, or both. And such institution in court, to file such acts in court and everything, you must need the consent in writing of a law officer. That is provided for in section 3 sub 1 and 2 of the Seditious Meeting Act 1961. Now I'll move on to riot. Riot is a felony punishable with 3 years imprisonment, as provided for in section 71. Now, the distinction between a riot and an unlawful assembly is just very simple. A riot is when there's an actual fight, while in the case of an unlawful assembly, as provided for in section 69 of the criminal code, it's the apprehension of the disturbance of peace in the society, deliberate disturbance of peace in the society. A riot requires that there's actually a disturbance of peace. That is, persons actually fighting, in more than 3 or more persons actually fighting and disturbing the peace of the society. Now, it has been legislatively approved that some group of persons have been vested with the power to ensure that there is no disturbance, that when there's a disturbance of peace by section 72, the magistrate or any police officer not or above the rank of assistant superintendent of police or any commissioned officer in Navy, military or Air Force in Nigeria could issue a proclamation ensuring that there's no public disturbance and ensuring that people who gather together and actually fighting, or when they feel that there's an apprehension of disturbance of peace, they ask such human beings or such people to go back to their homes or leave the place and make sure the place is orderly, as provided for in section 72. Now, what happens when such people refuse to go? If they refuse to go and after a reasonable time has elapsed, then such individual will be liable to a felony and punishable with 5 years imprisonment. And any person who prevents the enforcement of that proclamation, ordering everybody to go back to their various destinations, will be liable to 10 years imprisonment. And when any other person knows that someone has prevented the execution of such proclamation, ordering everybody to go home, and decides to also join in such an incident, the person will be liable to 5 years imprisonment in felony. Now I'm going to be talking about the Riot Damages Act of 1963. It provides for compensation in case there's a damage, which is regulated by the Minister of Finances, which assesses the damage. Now, affray is fight in a public place. In Nigeria, it is fight in public place, but in the English law, it doesn't necessarily have to take place in a public place. It may take place any other place, as long as there's a fight anywhere and everything. It becomes an affray, as reported in Button versus DPP 1966 AC 591. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.